Welcome everyone. This is our weekly live Q&A. Feel free to throw your questions in the chat. I'll answer them as they come up. I see them. If you're watching on the replay, feel free. You can still throw your questions in. We will get them on next week's live session and go from there. So I wanted to cover kind of a different topic. It's not something that we've really discussed at all in these, but it is something that I find it comes up time to time with clients. It's something that kind of have to have conversations with the boys that I coach for youth soccer. And it's an aspect of it becomes a thing more and more in our society because of how much of the world has access to us online as well. Um, what I'm talking about is dealing with people's negative judgments, commentary, attitude. It can come in a variety of ways. A lot of people refer to it as bullying. In a lot of cases, they'd be right. Other cases, it's trolling, which definitely, kind of goes hand in hand with bullying in some cases. And the challenge with clients oftentimes is depending on how long you've been stuck in the position you're in, whether it be dealing with weight for a long period of time, maybe just simply not being someone who's active for most of your life, we tend to end up in um, communities or friendship groups and circles that also aren't a part of that lifestyle. In the sense means typically if you're not active, your friends typically aren't active. More often than not, if you tend to be overweight, your friends tend to be overweight, just simply because we look for people who have kind of similar habits, similar behaviors, because that's where we find common ground and come together with. A challenge that a lot of people run into when they hit a point where they realize that the way they've been living doesn't serve their health and well-being in the way that they want it to anymore, and they start making changes, a lot of times there can be a lot of negativity thrown at you. Um, and this can be really frustrating because sometimes it comes from people who you would ideally hope and expect there to be support from instead. Um, and it can be challenging. It can often get under our skin, and sometimes it can even be demotivating because some people come at you either with a feeling of betrayal or just other aspects of judgment, negativity, um, any way that they can possible to kind of get you down. And obviously, if you're trying to be public with your posts, kind of doing your fitness journey and things like that, then you're opening to a whole slew of other commentary. And the the challenge is again, as we've talked previously about negativity bias, it's easy to kind of focus in and obsess over this negative feedback we're getting from people. Um, when we have to kind of realize and separate ourselves from it in this context, because it's negativity, but it's their negativity. It's not your negativity. It's not a failing on your part. It's negativity that honestly is best not interacted with in often cases, especially online, because most of those people don't actually know you, so they really don't deserve to have a conversation with you about the choices and decisions you're making to change yourself. Um, the challenge is that when people see peers or others that they thought were kind of on their level start to elevate themselves, they will often attempt to bring you down in order to re-justify their current status. And a phrase that I often will tell people, pardon my language, but you can only throw shit if you're wallowing in it. So if you're receiving these criticisms when you're trying to improve yourself, make yourself better, maybe you've even accomplished big and better things, and all of a sudden you're getting all this negativity, you have two choices. You can either choose to drop down and start wallowing in the shit with them, or you can choose to stay separate from it and just keep doing you, keep making the changes you're making, keep improving yourself and accomplishing the things that you set out to accomplish for yourself. Um, it's a hard thing because a lot of this stuff can get under your skin. No one likes to have negative comments and things directed towards them. But in most cases, the comments aren't worth engaging. It's not worth trying to justify the changes you're making to people who aren't willing to listen to the true reasons behind it. And especially if it's people who really don't know you. So this kind of gets into when it's like online stuff or just like loose acquaintances. Maybe it's a person that works with you, but like you really don't know them at all, that tries to say stuff, and it's not worth the energy in most cases, because all it's going to do is shift your focus from what you're trying to do, which is improve yourself, make yourself better, and remove a lot of unwanted stressors that are negatively affecting your life. And trying to engage in these things will only keep you stressed, and oftentimes will potentially bring you back down, because that's what they're trying to do. It is people will try to bring others down in order to justify their own mediocrity. So you can't let yourself be dropped because of someone else's comments about the changes that you're making when you know that you're doing things to improve yourself, better yourself. If you've really identified what your why is behind this and it has anything to do with your health, your well being, your long term ability to be independent, have more time with family, be able to engage more with your family because you're not stuck because you can't move because of where your health has gone. Um, Being able to make these changes is about you and your improvement and nothing to do with them. If they want to continue the way they've been and continue doing, let them be. You can't force someone else to change. Everyone comes to this decision on their own. It can be challenging, it can be frustrating. Sometimes it does need and require a consideration of changing um, friendship circles, how much time you spend with certain people, just simply because if they're not going to change a lot of their habits, it can be challenging to engage and spend time with them when maybe you don't want to fully participate in a lot of those habits anymore because they're no longer serving you. Whether it be things like staying out really, really late at night, but you've made a purpose to get your, 7 to 9 hours of sleep so your body can feel recovered and energized the next day. Maybe it's, a certain amount of drinks that you're just no longer looking or willing to do. Maybe it's just simply refraining from the certain amount of foods or certain types of foods because you've realized the impact that it's having on you after some work and um, journaling to see like, hey, whenever I have these foods, this is when I feel the worst. And some people don't like that and they can cause some negativity. Um, Ideally, what I try and explain to people is if they're truly, truly your friends, they will hear and accept your reason, your whys, and what you're trying to do. And the friendship can still keep going. Maybe you can't do everything together, but you can still maintain a good friendship. If making a few changes like that, as far as what types of food you're eating, drinking, how late you stay out, is enough to dissolve a relationship, it's probably worth letting go anyways. So, like I said, some of these things can be frustrating, they can be disheartening at times, but you have to realize that a lot of the negativity targeted at you is meant to keep you and hold you back and keep you down rather than letting you elevate yourself to that next level of improvement to where you can feel good about yourself. You can enjoy your time outside of work because you're not run down anymore. You can engage with your family and the friends that want to engage with you and have the energy to do it without regret, and you can have a longer, more fulfilled life because now you're not worried about what the next doctor's visit is going to have in store for you. So just a few thoughts that I wanted to go over because I know we haven't discussed it much. Hope that was helpful. If you do find yourself in a major struggle of this nature, more than happy to talk with you. You can send us a direct message in the chat. If it seems more and more severe, I do strongly encourage you to reach out, get some professional help. This is an area where therapy really excels and helps you get through and to that next level. But even if you just need someone to talk to, reach out. More than happy to have a discussion. And if it's just some basic habit changes and other frame of minds that we need to look at, awesome. If maybe having someone more professional talk through with that, we can set you up with the right people for that as well. But I hope everything's helpful. I hope everyone's doing well on their health and fitness journeys. And have a great week. And remember to stay persistent in your consistent pursuit of health.